Hi everyone, it's Christopher, Mono County Library Director and co-host of the Oxygen Starved podcast. Here in Mono County, we often talk about how we're at the eastern edge of Yosemite National Park and the gateway to so many Eastern Sierra adventures. It's worth reminding ourselves that we're also at the western edge of an equally amazing geographic area, the Great Basin, which includes watersheds that stretch from us clear across Nevada east into Utah. At its most basic, it's defined as an area that has no direct water outlet to the ocean, which makes it unique, but it also has a distinct cultural history that goes back eons and stretches up to the present day. So for this Book Talk Friday, I've chosen 2 library books that reflect the cultural history and love for the Great Basin, which many of us share. The first is Legends of the Northern Paiute as told by Wilson Wewa, compiled by James Gardner. It came out in 2017. The blurb says this book shares and preserves 21 original and previously unpublished Northern Paiute legends as told by Wewa, a spiritual leader and oral historian of the Warm Springs Paiute. These legends were first told around the fires of Paiute camps and villages during the storytelling season of winter in the Great Basin area. They were shared in Paiute communities as a way to pass on tribal visions of the animal people and the human people, their origins and values, their spiritual and natural environment, and their culture and daily lives. Now, Wewa and Gardner worked together, relying heavily on speaking these tales out loud to capture the warmth and the essence of the stories. Most are really brief, and they range from creation stories to how the seasons came to be, to stories that rival Aesop's fables, such as the little jackrabbit girl and the ants, to stories that recount the first white people trundling in from the east in their covered wagons. It's another quick read, of course, and it can be devoured in an afternoon, and it would be fascinating reading not just to adults, but to young readers as well. And of course, rooted in the storytelling tradition, these are best read aloud. Now, my pick for the second book this week is a collection of essays by Michael P. Branch called How to Cuss in Western and Other Missives from the High Desert. You may recognize Branch. He has a couple of other collections of essays out about his life in Northwest Nevada, and he contributes pretty regularly to High Country News. In fact, many of these short essays first appeared there. As a collection, the topics are all over the place, but what holds them together is Branch's clear love for the land he calls home. He moves effortlessly between moving and informative pieces, such as an essay that recounts the surprising and beautiful power of flash floods in the high desert, including reminding the reader that in the desert you are more likely to drown than die of thirst, to humorous pieces, such as the titular essay in which he recounts the history of swearing in the Old West. He also combines the two in essays such as What Would Edward Abbey Do?, a piece in which he and 3 of his hiking buddies ask themselves that very question when confronted with a big round boulder on the top edge of a hill that just begs for them to push it off and see what happens. Now, like the other book, you can put this down, you can pick it up again, you can jump around in it, but it will always entertain. High Country News said if Thoreau drank more whiskey and lived in the desert, he'd write like this. This is How to Cuss in Western by Michael P. Branch. This is Legends of the Northern Paiute as told by Wilson Wewa. Both great books available at Mono County Libraries. Come in and grab these or another great book to read. In the meantime, stay safe and happy reading.